ChatGPT came up with a Game of Thrones sequel idea. Now, a judge is letting George R. R. Martin sue for copyright infringement. In their lawsuit, all these authors made a bunch of arguments for why they say that ChatGPT has infringed on their copyright. They say that they've illegally trained on their material with their large language models. They say that they're spitting out portions of the books. But one of the arguments I felt was really interesting is that ChatGPT can generate fanfiction based on these particular works. And that's one of the arguments that the lawyers used for George R. R. Martin in his Song of Ice and Fire series. The lawsuit cites one example prompt where ChatGPT was asked to come up with a sequel to A Clash of Kings that would be different from what happened in A Storm of the Swords. And ChatGPT says, absolutely, that sounds great, and we're going to call this sequel A Dance of the Shadows. And there's a whole elaborate sort of like plot and new characters that it develops. The judge says, this looks like copyright infringement to me. It would be reasonable for this case to go to trial because a jury could say, hey, it's using all these proprietary characteristics of Westeros, of the location, of all these other characters. Now, this isn't the end of the lawsuit. OpenAI can still win, and in fact, it has won in similar lawsuits where, judges have said, well, even if this seems like copyright infringement, it's still protected under other doctrines like fair use. For now, a judge said, yeah, this can move forward. This looks like it could be copyright infringements, and you do have a case here, George R. R. Martin, partially because, this fanfiction looks legally problematic. To read the full story, head to businessinsider.com.